Record Pro software.
Welcome back everybody to a special development blog about the StarCraft update. This is a huge update, to say the least. Let me be short, it is a complete change. So first of all, new thing is added, and that is the recipes in the crafting bench are now visible. When you click on it, you will get a recipe like this. Note that our custom items will always show as a player head. I don't know why, but it's a limitation of Spigot and Minecraft that not allowing those things. Only the end will do. So, the furnace also shows them, but they will show it correctly because I do not use heads here. Anyways, because that problem is there is also a StarCraft guide. This guide is basically added to showcase the buildings, how you make the buildings, and all crafting recipes by a true manner instead of a player head. So, looking at the fuel refinery as example, you will skip directly to the build guide. You can see that it's the fuel refinery that we have 9 blocks high and a 3x4 grid size. The grid size is basically the width and length of a build, and the height is layers, with exception of if the grid size is single layer between brackets, because then the total layers are basically from top to bottom but not up, so it's single layer. Then you see the legend A, B, C, D, E, and R is always O, by the way. Then you have the layers. So in this case, layer 1, AAA, ADA, ACA. And if you take a look back, A is iron block, D is emerald block, and C is a chest. So it would be iron, 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 emerald, iron, iron, chest, iron block. And basically all the layers work like bay, because this build is a 3x4, which means that this is the base of the structure. And if you go up and there is a fourth one, because it's 3x4, there can be a fourth layer over here, for example for the sign in this case. And the O's are always air, so that way it works. Now the rocket is also in it. It requires a little bit more ingredients, but basically it shows the rocket as it's been, how you need to build it. And same for the launch pad. But because, as I told, it is a single layer launch pad, these 11 layers are basically the 11 ones on the left one. So it goes from far away to you, and you can see the builds here, and you can then see the same instruction, but a single line basically on how it's made. And the air compressor is basically the same. So when we are getting back all the way to the start, this is all programmed in by me. It's a lot of things. There we go. The crafting recipes. Talking is hard today. We have them all here. All items are added to this system. So in this case, for example, I will select Titanite plate. When I click it, it directly shows me exactly how it's made, completely with the names as well, so I know what it is. Just simply clicking on anything or escaping out of it, and it closes that menu. You can click it again and get to the recipes very easily. So for example, the Titanite plates here. Let me take a fuel tank 4. You can see all the things are in here, including those custom blocks. So that's the recipe book thing. It also comes with a command, a onJoin function as well, and a gift command. So basically the recipe book can either be given on join if the administrator turns it on, You can get it by a slash space get recipe book. There we have it. And staff members can change get for give and enter a name beside it to give a book to somebody that's online. So that's the give command. Now for the more awesome things, MCG StarCraft is now unlimitedly made, which means you can add unlimited worlds to it, unlimited bungee cord servers, unlimited everything. You can make it as large as you want to. So, going to the rocket over here. What happened with the button? Found invalid canisters. Yeah, well, I know. The button is on the wrong location. There we go. This is a GUI with 0 fuel. Ignore that. Anyways, this is the brand new galaxy map, people. The galaxy map is a area with, the planets in your galaxy. The administrator can exactly place the worlds when they want to place it, even add their own worlds to the galaxy map as they want to. You can see that this is my current world. I'm here now, so it stays as current. There's no radiation here and no temperature differences. But if I take a look at organic, you can see that there is a little bit of radiation there. Also, the temperature is way higher than here. And to get there, it cost me 2 fuel cells. However, if I go to aquatic, there is no radiation, a little bit of temperature increase, but it's more expensive to reach it there. We calculated basically by the blocks up. Right. 7 blocks total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Making them to the location. Here's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 2. 1, 2. And you might think, where's space in this screen? Yeah, this is my test world, so I moved space to a different galaxy for showcasing how it works. Normally space is above the world, by the way. There is a button here which says warp to other galaxy. If you click on it, you see your current galaxy name. By default, I have set the main worlds that I've added to obases. You can make your own galaxies and add more worlds to those galaxies, or move existing worlds to other galaxies if you want to. In this case, I made a galaxy called Knoeg. Once I click on it, a new GUI opens, and you can see this is a completely empty galaxy with just one world, and that's the space world. Like I told, I moved the space world. But there is something special here, because it now also shows fuel costs and warp costs. The fuel costs are basically generated on a multiplier, which is made per galaxy. You can turn it also off to set it to just to 1, so it's the normal values for each spot. But if, for example, it is 2, then you pay 2 times the price to get from this spot to this spot, for example. So if we take a look at the older ones and have it in our heads, the older planet was 2 blocks to the right of the Earth. It cost me 2 back then, so if the multiplier is 2, it would cost 4 for me to get there. So that's per galaxy. And in this case, the warp cost to warp to this galaxy is 10 fuel cells. So warping to this galaxy cost me 10 fuel cells on top of the fuel cost for moving this spot to that spot. So basically it's like a 3D graphical thingy thing where you need to pay for the movement between the slots and separately for the movement between the galaxy and galaxy. The multiplier only counts for movements on the slots and not on the galaxy travel. So basically when I click this one and I have enough fuel, it would launch me, but this rocket doesn't have enough fuel. So let me just give me a second and take a look if I have a rocket with fuel. Yes, this one is filled. Let's give it a go. I click it, invalid canisters. What did I just do? Are those the old canisters?
A few moments later.
Well, there was no bug. I made a mistake myself by testing it with an old language file. I'm an idiot. Let's try again, shall we? See, 27 fuel now. And when you click it, you will launch as usual and move to the world where you are gonna be. The escape pods, the drop pods, are here. They look weird. They are weird, but at least they do their job and you can get into it and have a base starting position. They only exist and spawn, here. At exact locations from where you launch. So, yeah. Basically where you launch is also where that's gonna happen. Man, it still looks cool. Good, now, let's give that another go. For certainty and showcasing that nothing is wrong, this was the old view. See, they are both the same, but also different. So if I do this again, I have the feeling that it's gonna fail if I use the old ones. Well, I have no idea. Well, no, they work. My mistake. The language file was missing some lines, and I had to restart my server to get those lines. Excuse me. Well, let's go to organic then. There was a question whether these drop pods are really needed. Well, I think they are needed. However, they are ugly. They also repay some of the blocks you put into the rocket build itself. So normally you will use a lot of iron blocks in your rocket build, and now you get some back to build a rocket for returning to the normal planet. Look, it is the organic world. Yay! I do have to warn. Since the latest update, things grow a little bit too fast sometimes. Don't be worried about it. It is not laggy at all. As you can see, I can still fly around and do my things, even when the bamboo is growing as fast as it does. There was also a question, what's inside these rocks? Well, you may give a guess. This is coal. And over here we have the other ones. But as you can see here, this is a great example. Sometimes your pods will spawn into a cliff. Basically, it means that you're crashed. And as you can see, the dirt is also getting into it. So basically, everything gets into it because you have crashed. And failed attempt to land, I think. You can call it like that. Beside the fact that there is also another thing, leaves decay sometimes. I have prevented it like 20 times now, and every time when I prevent it, it prevents it for that single version. As soon as you get a subversion up or something, it just fails to work. So I recommend when using this world, be ready that some of the leaves may disappear. Takes a lot of time though before everything disappears, but at least it's something. And now, last but not least, the wiki page has been updated accordingly to the changes that I've made. I also made a lot of fixes. For example, for traveling, the rocket will now stay a little bit active longer, so you can see yourself flying a little bit longer and give the server the time to load up a little bit faster. Beside the fact that I have improved the generation a little bit. If you use the latest build of Spigot or Paper Spigot and you travel like this, you can see that I have a little stutter, but this is all newly generated, by the way. This is not existing before. So basically it generates extremely fast now. World generation is basically improved a lot. And talking about it, this is the heaviest planet that you can think of in the game. in my world that I've added. So, to be short, things on the line. We have the new galaxy map, we have warping, we have a new fuel calculation system that prevents the fuel, sets fuel basically for the distance you travel. We have, we have a lot of things that were added, like the recipe book, the in-game recipes from the furnaces, etc, 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 etc. So, if you find any bugs in the versions, please report them. I can fix them. No worries. I will always do my best to fix every error I can find. And if I cannot find it and you find it, please provide me it. I love to fix it. So I want a clear and bug-free plugin. Let that be one for sure. And I will also answer one person who is very mad at me for not responding directly at his request. I'm not always 24/7 on my computer. I'm just alone here. My support team is only for reacting when something gets out of hand. It happened, believe me. People complaining about basically the annoyance of people configuring things they shouldn't be configuring if they do not know what they are doing. In this case, I recommend people who have no knowledge of programming to stay away from the building files. Except for changing the materials, possibly, but even that. Know what you're doing before you do it. Please. There was one person was really raging about it. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you will really like this update. And I will see you all in the next one. Good luck!